Can I help you?
Hi. Yeah, I found this. I was cleaning out some drawers and stuff. My mother gave it to me years ago, and I was wanting to find out how much it was worth.
This thing looks crazy. What is it?
It's a Black Widow.
Is it poisonous?
I just came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my grandmother's brooch that was given to me years ago. It's just a spider brooch. It's got a lot of crystals and stuff on it. I don't like spiders, so I just wanted to get rid of it.
Do you know what you have here?
No, not at all.
This is Fabergé. Fabergé was one of the most famous jewelry designers in the world. He was the jeweler to the Russian court. This is something right here. When people say Fabergé, they mean Peter Fabergé, one of the greatest jewelers of all time. This guy became famous for his Fabergé eggs, but he actually made everything from silverware to necklaces to rings. And just about anything he touched is considered a masterpiece. What you have here is pre-revolution Russian imperial jewelry. That's onyx underneath there. This white metal right here, that is all platinum. Those are diamonds. There's sapphires in the feet. Those are rubies in the eyes. This is the kind of stuff that royalty wears. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't believe this woman had a Fabergé brooch sitting around in a drawer somewhere. This is the one thing everyone hopes they'll stumble across when they're going through grandma's stuff. What did you want to do with it?
I want to get rid of it.
And how much were you looking to get out of it?
Couple thousand.
Okay. I would really, really like to give you like 2,000 bucks for it, but unfortunately, I have a conscience. All right. I'll cut to the chase. I'll give you $15,000 for it.
Oh my God, you got to be me.
No, I'm not. This is stuff you do not see every day.
How about 17? A man that's willing to pay 15 will definitely pay 17
No,
for
he
that.
won't. I mean,
All right,
literally.
how about 16?
I will give you 15. That's more than a fair offer on this.
How about 15.5?
This is why I hate having a conscience. This is Vegas, and I just told this woman she hit the jackpot, and now she wants another spin. I can pay you 15 grand. That's more than a fair offer on this. This is not something that's going to sell overnight.
All right, you're a good man.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm so shocked. I mean, I couldn't believe it was worth $15,000. I hit the jackpot today.
Hello, how can I help you?
Hi. Looking to see if maybe you'd be interested in purchasing this sword.
Oh, wow.
Are you a closet samurai or something like that?
No. I'm here at the pawn shop today, hopefully to sell my 16th century Katana ceremonial sword. My father-in-law brought it back from World War II when he was stationed in Japan. I think this sword is really cool, and I'm looking to get 10,000.
It's a great piece of history. During World War II, there was this whole thing called the spoils of war and war prizes. Might sound a little strange now, but it just goes back from thousands of years. I mean, that was part of a soldier's pay. If you went to battle, you got to take a few prizes home. Generally, out of Europe, they would take flutes. I've seen lugers. I've seen all these other things. One of the big things guys brought back from Japan was samurai swords.
Wow.
Can you tell me what this says right here?
Well, he actually did ask a Japanese kid to tell him what the writings meant. The kid said it was a sword used for beheading Christians.
I mean, I have never heard of the Japanese beheading Christians.
Okay.
Can we see the blade on this thing?
Do you mind if I take it apart? Take it
Absolutely.
up?
Please. There's a little excitement in here. Ooh, check out the blade on that sword. Don't be touching that, Rick. You know better than that. What did I tell you over the years?
What if you taught me?
Yeah, not to touch that with your hands.
So what can you tell me about this, chum? Humor. What do you know about it?
Let's see here. It's pretty old. Looks pretty nice. Definitely looks like it was used. Probably beheaded, you know, an out-of-line boss once or twice in its time.
I definitely find it interesting. What were you looking to do with it?
Sell it.
Okay, how much you want for it?
10,000.
Okay. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea what it's worth. It's in need of some reconditioning, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
With these things, I have a friend who knows everything about them. When they just come in, that's who I call. So if you don't mind hanging out for a little bit, I'll give him a call, have him come down, check it out. And
Great, excellent.
he'll give us a much better idea what it's worth. Will you entertain this young lady?
That's what I do, Rick.
I'm really looking forward to Rick having the expert come in and tell us all about the sword.
Here it is. So what do you think?
Well, let me take a look at the handle with your permission.
Absolutely. That was slick.
Well, it's got some writing on the blade, huh? You seeing anything good down there?
So this blade is actually very interesting because during the 1800s, there was a great rebellion and a civil war going on, and many factions were trying to take over Japan. This blade was made in 1863 by Nagahiro and was given to the Lord of Choshu to protect Japan against enemies of the emperor, the imperial family, and especially against the Tokugawa, or the military leader. So this is quite an important sword, historically.
She was told a story that it was used for beheading Christians, which I said, probably not.
There is a term called joy that's written on the tang, which means protecting or reverence to the imperial family. So not literally beheading Christians, but just anybody who was considered an enemy of the emperor at the time.
Okay, so the big question, what's it worth?
Well, in its present condition and the fact that it has very high historical value, I'd say this sword is probably worth about $10,000.
Wow.
All right, thanks, man.
Okay, this sword is a very good buy for the shop because it's a very unique item. Anytime you get a sword that was actually owned personally by the Lord, that's gotta be something special.
All right, so what are you willing to take for it? I have to make money on it.
Oh, I realize that. 5? Can you make money at that?
Yeah, I can. I make a little too much money at that. The fact of the matter is, I don't take advantage of people. 5,000 is just too low. I will give you $6,000 for it. I would go more, but this is a multi-year project here, most likely. So I'm assuming 6,000 is fine since you wanted 5.
Yes, 6,000 is great.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Chum, will you write her up?
I'm gonna write this ticket up, and then I might behead you with this sword, Rick.
Oh. I'm amazed. I asked for 5,000 for the sword, and Rick cut me some slack and actually gave me 6. It's awesome.
What do you got?
I have these coins that are very valuable that I'm trying to get rid of at this point in time.
All right. Where in the world did you get these?
Well, my dear Aunt Mary, she passed away and she turned them over to me. She left them to me in her will. Now, these were originally my grandfather's coins, so these coins go way back.
All right, these are really interesting. So, 1878, they started making the Morgan silver dollar. It's the most collectible of all the United States coins. There's tons of different mint marks. There's a lot of variations and everything. And you generally, with coin collecting, everyone wants the highest grade coin possible. I mean, the higher the grade, the more it's worth. But then a few years ago, this craze happened where people wanted to collect the lowest grade. They wanted to be able to get ones. That's where the coin is completely worn out from natural wear, not from any damage or anything like that, where you can still see the mint mark and still figure out the year. That's what these are right here, and they're called low balls. I mean, it's like graded a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Everyone wants the ones, and these are all ones, which is amazing. It's sort of crazy. The price keeps on going down the lower the grade gets. Highest grade, start going down. You get to like a 4, it gets down here, and then it goes back up. It's crazy.
Okay, all right, that sounds crazy, but hey.
We got some really good dates in here, too.
Yes, sir.
These are all amazing. I mean, how much did you want for them?
$200 for each one. That's $2,400 for the whole batch. How about that? Now, that's a deal. Let's make a deal.
That is a heck of a deal. It really, really is.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
But I sort of have a conscience, and they're worth more than that. They really are.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I mean, these two right here, I could probably get $600-700 a piece out of.
Really?
I'd give you $4,000 for the lot. That is more of a fair price. It really is.
Really? Can your conscience go up even higher to $5,000 for the whole lot?
No,
Oh.
no. $4,000, I think, is a really reasonable price for these things right here.
I appreciate that. I'll take it.
Sweet.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
If you go right over there,
All right.
they'll get you paid.
I knew there was something I liked about you. Take care, Rick. Thank you.
All right.
All righty.
I have a 1929 Cubs World Series press pin.
The Cubbies.
I think it's the only team ever to go over 100 years without winning a World Series. I guess people just feel sorry for the Cubs.
Sure they do. Yeah. I've come to the pawn shop today to sell my 1929 Chicago Cubs World Series press pin. I could use the money. I'd like to get at least $1,000 for it. The least amount of money I probably will take is about $800.
Where in the world did you get this?
My mom passed a few years ago, and we found out in her jewelry box.
You needed one of these things to get in the press box for the World Series. They gave these out instead of credentials. And the reason they probably did that, a lot harder to fake.
Sure.
You put it right through your lapel on your jacket. That's when everyone wore a jacket. Being a sports reporter in the 1920s was a pretty cool job to have. Baseball was more popular than ever, thanks to guys like Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb. So having a pin like this would make you a big deal. The amazing thing is it's in really good condition. There's not one chip in the enamel that I can see. It's a good thing it's from the Cubs, too, because if you get something from the Yankees, they're always going to the World Series. It's not quite as big a deal. It really does mark the end of an era. We're talking October 1929. That was the height of the Roaring 20s. Literally a few weeks after this pen was given out, the stock market crashes. The whole world went crashing down. Since this is from what a lot of historians consider the golden age of baseball, and it's in great shape, I can definitely see some real value in it. Now tell me, what do you want to do with this?
I'd like to sell it.
How much you want for it?
Like $1,000 for it. It's a seldom seen piece.
I know it's a seldom seen piece, and it's going to be a quick seller. And quite frankly, it's actually a little cheap.
Okay.
$1,000.
Okay.
I was thinking like $1,200. I always want to maximize my profit on anything I buy, but I also believe it's really important to be fair. So when I see a customer with a rare, expensive item and making a big mistake, I flag it when I can. Getting $1,000 for it's just a little too cheap.
Well, you know, I appreciate that, and I'll take 12.
Okay.
That's absolutely no problem. I appreciate your honesty.
That's not how you negotiate.
Just go take the item, go write them up.
Well, when he offered me $1,200, I was a little surprised. I would have been happy with $1,000, but he just wanted to be fair with me, and I appreciate that.
So what do we got here?
I have some Napoleonic-Era medals.
Okay, we all know how important Napoleon was in France and during the 1800s. Pretty much conquered most of Europe. Everybody knows about the whole Napoleon complex thing, which, believe it or not, is actually not true. He was actually average height. I think that was just something that his enemies just kind of, a rumor that they made up, and it just kind of stuck with him. So tell me where you got them.
I was in Europe at an auction, and I accidentally won them.
How did we accidentally win them?
So I wrote down the wrong lot number, and this is what they gave me.
And what'd you accidentally pay for them?
I accidentally paid $1,000 for them.
Okay, I'm 99% confident that these are Andrew medals. You know, when people say medals, they typically think of military medals, gold medals that you wear around your neck. The first Olympic medals that they presented were just like this. These are actually able to cast. They could be mass-produced. Okay, so we have Siege de la Bastille. I'm pretty sure kind of translates into the storming of Bastille. You wanted to decorate your house in the 1850s. This is the kind of stuff you would hang on the wall. Give me an idea of what you're looking to get out of it.
So I really just want to get my money back, so I'd say $1,000.
Okay, you know, for something that's close to 200 years old, it is in really, really good condition. You know, it's not like somebody used these as hockey pucks or something like that. I mean, they've pretty much stayed in the box the entire time. The condition's really good. Today is your lucky day. You have doubled your money on these. I will give you $2,000.
Nice. Great, I'll take it.
All right, sounds good to me. Meet my guys over there. They'll write you up, okay?
Great, thank you.
Have a good day.
I've been driving for a couple hours now, and with no one to bug me, it has been the best. Just crossed into Utah, and I pulled into a little town named Hurricane to look for some food. What do we have here? And I noticed a little antique shop with a weird trailer out front, so I'm gonna go inside and see what they got.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
All right, just looking around.
Sure.
Unfortunately, even when I'm on vacation, I can't help myself. I'm always looking for deals. One of the weird things about a random antique shop, you'll never know what you'll find. It might just be completely full of junk, might be full of treasures, might be overpriced, might be underpriced. Is the player piano for sale?
Well, everything has its price.
What year is it?
It's 110 years old.
And it works and everything like
Yeah,
that?
here, try it. It's a hit of the store.
Okay.
What do you think?
So what would you take for it?
It'd have to be more than 10,000.
That's a little more than I want to pay.
Well, I'd be in trouble if I sold it. I give it to my wife for her birthday.
How much do you love your wife?
A lot.
Okay. What this place has got going for it, it's pretty damn big, so there might be that one little treasure stashed in the corner somewhere. This is definitely pretty cool. Excuse me.
Question?
Yeah, do you know anything about this?
It's on consignment. I don't know anything about it. Looks like some sort of helmet.
Samurai helmet, it looks like. You're asking $300 for it. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but you're not asking nearly enough for this thing. He had a price for $300. I have a conscience. I believe in karma. I had to tell him what it was worth. Because it could retail for as much as $2,500.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I own the Ugly Trailer Antiques in Hurricane, Utah. With the samurai helmet, I was really surprised that it was worth that much. That blew me away. I think the customer that has it on consignment will be thrilled.
This is actually really cool. This is a samurai helmet from late Edo period.
When is that?
Early 1600s to basically 1868, I believe, somewhere right around in there. You know, you had the emperor, who was like the king, and then you had the samurai, which was sort of like the royal court. They were basically the equivalent of like dukes and earls in England. Over the years, I've seen a few samurai helmets. I've seen a lot of samurai swords. So when you get those things in your store, you try and do a lot of research on them. That way you know next time they come in, what to look for. I mean, everything on this thing looks right. So how much will you take for it?
What will you give me?
$1,250.
I gotta do a little better than that.
You only wanted $300 to start with. So what will you take for it?
Well, I think after what I've learned about it today, I think we gotta have at least two for it.
$1,500?
Come on, you can do better than that. 17.
I'll go 16.
1650.
All right, $1,650.
All right. Let's go write it up.
Usually I say that. Just goes to show when you go into an antique store in a small town, every once in a while you can find something. I think I can sell it quick. Sturgis, here I come.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. I bought some magazines at a garage sale, and these are tucked in between the pages. They say Playboy on them.
Shopping for used Playboys, huh?
I came down to the pawn shop today to sell my 1955 Playboy comic prints. I think these things can be worth some big money just because they're old and they're from Playboy. I basically got them for free, and I'm ready to cash in.
So you got these at a yard sale, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. You know much about them, or?
This one says October 55. This one's December 55.
Okay. Yeah, this is not very long after Playboy got started. I think Hefner worked for Esquire magazine and asked for a $5 a year raise, and they told him to go pound salt, so he got a $1,000 loan and went out and started Playboy. Almost 65 years later, we're still here talking about it.
Multi-million.
Yeah. Hugh Hefner knew how to add a touch of class to his magazines. He had articles from famous writers, and he hired some of the best-known cartoonists to draw his cartoons. It definitely separated Playboy from the typical smut magazine. What they are is the cartoonist would illustrate something, draw it out, then he'd have to get approval for it. And they would fly back and forth like that over and over again till they finally put it in the magazine. This one's kind of funny. It's a cocktail waitress telling the bartender to cut Benson off because he just pinched her. This one doesn't have a caption, but I'm assuming the humor is the guy that's laying in bed is looking up at his own picture as the attorney advertising in the hospital. These cartoons are definitely a bit dated, but it is original signed artwork. And 1950s Playboy stuff has gotten real collectible. So what do you want to do with them, my man?
I'd like to sell them.
Any idea of what you want for them?
No, I'd like $100 a piece.
$100 a piece. Be honest with you, man, they're worth a lot more than that. Yeah,
okay.
they are worth more than that. me and my big mouth, but how about this? I give you 500 apiece for them.
That works for me. Well, I appreciate you being honest with me.
Sounds good, man. Let's
Sounds
go right
good.
ahead.
I couldn't believe they were worth that much money. I got $1,000 in my pocket, and I'm a happy man.
What is this?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it could be like a really old and hopefully really expensive coin.
It's George III and Resolution and Adventure. Sailed from England, 1772.
This is interesting. Resolution and Adventure were Captain Cook's ships. Okay, you know who he was?
Was he the pirate from Peter Pan or something?
Wrong dude.
Okay. I was cleaning out my grandma's house and found it in one of the boxes. I had no idea that she was into like collecting things like that. Who knows where she got it? Like, I have no idea. I don't really have any use for the coin, or I figured maybe a couple bucks would be great.
Captain Cook worked his way in the annals of history to be one of the greatest ship captains ever. This is the guy who discovered Hawaii.
Wow.
Islands all over the Pacific. He mapped them all out. He invented some really amazing mathematics that helped them navigate where they were going. Captain Cook was an amazing guy. Captain Cook was a naturally brilliant navigator. The maps he made of Newfoundland in the 1750s were so good, they were still using them in the 20th century. If this has some relation to his world-famous voyages, there's some value here. I mean, it looks like maybe it attached to a ribbon. Maybe it belonged to an officer for being on that journey.
Cool.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued, but I don't know if this was made in 1772, or if they sell these in the gift shop in England right next to all the old ships, okay?
Right.
There's some odd things here. I mean, it's one of the most detailed medals I've ever seen from that time period.
Wow.
And that's why I'm thinking it's a lot newer than that, but there's that little chance it's something.
Okay.
How much you want for it?
I'd be thrilled with 50 or 100 bucks.
Can you wait around so I can get someone to look at it? I'm really, really interested.
Okay, I definitely have the time, so thanks.
I'm gonna call the Rain Man of Coins.
Okay.
I should be able to get him down here in 15, 20 minutes, all right?
Awesome, thank you very much. I started to see dollar signs when he was like really excited about it, pointing out all these awesome, cool things about it. Yeah, I think the expert will let us know exactly what it is, what it's worth. I'm excited to hear what they have to say.
It's a very interesting item. This is a Resolution and Adventure medal. This journey lasted 3 years, from 1772 to 1775. He went down past the bottom of the African continent. He circumnavigated the southern portion of South America. He went to Fiji, Tahiti, New Zealand, Easter Island. He went everywhere. Captain Cook is really one of the most important explorers in modern history. In his third journey, Captain Cook tried to capture a Hawaiian. They objected and murdered him, along with some of his top men.
What do you think?
This is really an historical item. They made 2,000 of these, but all of these went to Captain Cook, every single one of them, in a cask, and he carried them on his journey.
Wow.
He was to give them out to local chiefs as tokens of esteem.
So, I mean, so when he would land it on an island, he would hand a few of these out, and, you know, everyone would ooh and ah, because a lot of these islands where he's landing at, the indigenous people haven't even discovered metalworking yet.
Right. These would have been extremely interesting to the recipients. And so each one of these is pedigreed right back to Captain Cook. He handled every one of them.
Whoa.
There may have been some left over. This may have been one that was presented and then handed down generations or found in the soil.
All right, so did they ever restrike these?
They struck the original batch. Certainly people have tried to counterfeit them by casting them later, but this is struck, and it has this loop on top, and all of them had that.
Okay.
But it's the real McCoy. This is...
I mean, so that was struck in 1772?
Absolutely.
Whoa. To hear Dave say this is from the 1700s is amazing. But the fact that this was actually in Captain Cook's hand, it's a real piece of history from one of the greatest explorers that ever lived.
So what do you would think it would go for at an auction?
This one's actually in pretty good condition. Very nice looking piece. Has some of the original lighter brassy color to it. To me, it's about a $7,500 to $8,500 item.
That's amazing. $75 to $8,500 for that?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This was once owned and handled by Captain Cook, so it's far more than just a medal. It's an historical object with a fantastic pedigree, and collectors are willing to pay for that.
Okay. Should have just gave you your 50 bucks.
I think it's worth a couple more than 50 bucks. I feel like I should ask for what it's worth. So 7,500?
No. You know what? I'm gonna give you $5 grand for it. Okay, you know why I'm gonna give you $5 grand for it?
Why?
Because you owe it to me.
Why do I owe it to you?
Because, remember, an hour ago, you wanted 50 bucks for it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's, you just owe it to me because I just made you all this money.
Well, I guess that's
Think
true.
about it, think about it, okay? If it wasn't for me, you would have, if you walked in any other place on the planet, they would have gave you your 50 bucks and they would have left. So I think $5 grand is a deal.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll beat you right over there.
Thank you, sir.
This is cool.
I didn't know what I had walking in. When he told me that this is what I'm gonna give you, I was pretty happy with it.
You must own really large chickens.
No, I have no chickens.
So what exactly is this?
This is an elephant bird egg.
Okay.
I bought it for my business. I sell fossils and other natural history things.
I thought you were gonna say you sell eggs.
I'm here at the pawn shop today to try to sell my elephant bird egg. I'm hoping to get $2,500 for the egg. I've had the egg for 15 years. I think it's about time that somebody else gets some enjoyment out of it.
This is interesting. So I know a little bit about the elephant bird. Basically, they were the biggest birds ever. Looked like an ostrich, but it weighed twice as much. It was like a foot taller.
Right. In fact, I have a very old trading card, the picture of the elephant bird.
This thing would be scary to be around. I mean, yeah, I think ostriches are scary.
Ostriches are scary enough.
I know they dig these things up and they like piece them together from several eggshells.
Yeah, from several eggs. Yeah, it's all these are little pieces. So this is made of all elephant bird eggshell, but not from one egg.
All right, looks like they did a good job. It's really, really interesting. They're super collectible. As a matter of fact, fossils nowadays, they're sort of on fire. People are really, really getting into it here lately. How much are you looking to get out of it?
I'm thinking $2,500.
Okay, tell you the truth, I have no idea if that's a good number or if it's even made out of eggshell.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, I do have a friend, he's a paleontologist. If I can get him down here to take a look at it.
I think that's great.
Okay, I'll be back here in a little bit.
All right.
That's right, I'm calling in a expert.
Wow, elephant bird.
That's what she says.
May I?
Absolutely.
Wow. These are pretty rare. They're often fake too, though. These fossils are often faked because they are rare and valuable. Porcelain is something that's easily fakeable with these types of eggshells. They're large, they're heavy, and that's a material that can pass to a lot of untrained eyes. So elephant birds could get up to 10 feet tall and weigh as much as 1,600 pounds. So obviously they laid a big egg. This is actually one of the larger eggs that I've seen. Some were smaller, but this is well within range of what we would expect to see for an elephant bird.
Okay, so is it real?
It looks real, but we need to take a closer look.
Okay.
I'd like to take a look at the surface texture. This lens is going to tell us all we need to know about the surface of the shell. Let's see here. Wow, there it is, Rick. See those long grooves in the shell right there? That's what we would expect to see from an elephant bird.
Okay, so we have an actual elephant bird egg.
We do have an actual elephant bird egg. It is a composite. Who knows how many different eggs this thing is made of? But there is some condition issues that I'd like to point out. All of these abrasions here, that's where the pieces didn't quite fit together. So rather than taking the time to find pieces that fit better, they just kind of ground them into place. That's really going to affect the value.
So tell me, is it worth it? Elephant load of cash?
I would appraise this egg $5,900, I think is a is a fair appraisal of this specimen.
I like your paleontologist.
Okay. Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so you want $2,500 for it?
Well, now I'm thinking 3,000.
It's a very small market. It's very weird. It will eventually sell. Tell you what, I'll give you $2,800 for it. That's more than a fair price.
But you sure you can't do 3,000 on it?
I'm offering you more than you are asking.
I know, that's true. But your paleontologist really got my hopes up.
$2,800 is the best I could do.
If it's really your best, fine. Okay.
All right, sweet, we have a deal. If you just go around the corner, do some paperwork, I'll get you paid.
Okay. I think it's a fair enough price. It's more than I came in for, so I'm happy.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
What do we got?
I got a 1984 Olympic boxing ticket stub with a few autographs on it you might be interested in.
And I know the signatures right off the bat. That's Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. This is in 1984, and back then Holyfield had 2 ears, right?
I'm at the pawn shop today to try and sell my 1984 Olympic boxing ticket stub. Back in the day, I was a big fan of boxing, so I drove down to the arena every day and became friendly with the U.S. boxing team. The ticket does have a little sentimental value. The time that I spent with the Olympic boxers was special to me. I'm looking to sell it because you can't take the ticket with you, and you can do some good with the money. I'm hoping to get $500 for this ticket stub.
This is definitely cool. This was the '84 Olympic Games held in Los Angeles. How did you get him to sign it?
Well, it was a day where the Olympic U.S. team had a bye. They were all in their street clothes, so I was kind of hanging out with them. Mike's head was hanging low because he was just riding the pine.
Yeah, Mike Tyson was there as an alternate. I mean, he really didn't have anything to do unless somebody got injured or hurt, right?
Yeah. I knew he was young and didn't have any money, and first time on an airplane, so I took him to lunch. I just wanted to kind of lift his spirits a little bit. Came back, they were still hanging out. The guy we kind of sat next to was Evander, and that's when I got Evander Holyfield.
Holyfield won the bronze medal for the light heavyweight division. After these games, both these guys were huge. I mean, they both went pro immediately after that. By 1988, they were both the creme de la creme of heavyweight boxing. Tyson and Holyfield fought in 1996. I'm sorry, he just wasn't prepared to fight Holyfield. The second time, in 1997, Tyson said he was sick of getting headbutted, so he decided to, for whatever reason, bite off Holyfield's ear. So is history. It's definitely cool, so what are you looking to do with it?
I've had a long time. I think I'm ready to sell it.
Any idea what you're looking to get?
I think $500 is a fair price.
Okay, you know, you got something really interesting here. I've never seen anything like this. You know, if you just brought me Mike Tyson's signature, I would have just said, you know, they're not really that much money. Same thing with Evander Holyfield. But the fact that they're on the same thing at an event that they were both at long before they were really famous or anything like that, I mean, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of interesting. I think it could be worth some money. Do you mind if I have a guy come in and take a look at the signatures?
Please do.
All right, I'll be back in a few.
My one concern with the expert coming in to validate the signatures is the rarity. He's probably not seen many adolescent signatures from those boxers back in the day, so that concerns me.
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Corey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. He's got a ticket stub from the '84 Olympics signed by Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson.
Really? I have to be honest with you, don't really see that too often. The two of them together from that period, because no one was really asking these guys when they were amateurs. It'd be pretty rare.
You know, these guys were both kids back then.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to think about it. Tyson was just, you know, an amateur. I think he was 17 years old, something like that, right in that range.
He just turned 18.
And Holyfield was a couple years older than him. Both came out of kind of rough areas, you know, and they're tough kids, some great fighters.
I mean, Steve, obviously it's a weird item. I mean, are these their autographs?
I've only seen, I think, one other ticket signed by them. That's it. So it's pretty scarce to have them on an item together, especially an Olympic ticket. So the first thing, obviously, I want to do is take a look at the ink on this thing and kind of just see what we're dealing with, Corey. And it looks like a ballpoint pen on Tyson, and same thing for Evander Holyfield. So it's a blue ballpoint pen, so both are live on there, no problems with that. Tyson, very difficult to find any kind of signature from him from that period. I've seen just so few of them. This is from one of the only I've ever seen signed, and it's literally the same type of signature. The Holyfield autograph, very basic, very neat, and he takes his time with it. So, tell you the truth, you got a winner here.
Okay. So what would something like this go for?
Well, you know, with the two of them together, I think it's significant. Their history together kind of makes it worth more money. And these are two of the most iconic boxers of all time. This one is special. And in today's marketplace, you're looking at about $2,000.
Oh, wow.
My kids told me it was going to be a big hit, but I thought not that big of a hit.
I'd say it's one of the neatest Olympic items from '84 I've ever seen.
Wow.
All right, man. Steve, thanks for coming by.
Yep, good luck with that. Take care.
All right, so deal, 500.
Wow, you shouldn't have brought him in.
What do you take for it?
1,500.
I'll double what you came in asking for and give you 1,000.
It's more than fair, but knowing how rare it is now, I think I'll stay at 1,500.
You know, me having to sell this thing, you know, I might get somebody coming in offering me $1,700 for it. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna get. So I'm just gonna have to stick at 1,000.
I think after holding it for 37 years, I can hold on for a couple more.
Well, my offer will stand, so if you ever want to come back, please do, okay?
I appreciate
Take
that.
care.
Thanks. He tried to hook me for $1,000. Based on the rarity, I think I'm gonna pass, take it home, put it in a nice frame, and let everybody see it.
Okay. So what exactly you got here?
It's a World War II ammunition hand cart.
All right, do you know much about it?
It's a rusty old car with broken down tires. What else do you need to know?
Believe it or not, I got it out of a garbage pile.
It looks like it belongs in a garbage pile.
I really don't know a lot about it. Thought it would make a cool flower pot, but then when I saw the placard on it with the date, I was thinking maybe this thing's worth some money.
So how would this work? Would you like hook it up to a horse?
I imagine there was a handle right there, but you would hook it up to a Jeep if you needed to, just moving stuff around. The thing's built like a tank. I mean, obviously it was built so it could be shot. Do you know which company made it or anything like that?
There's a placard on it that just tells what area it came from.
Okay, we got hand carts and Rock Island Arsenal. It's from World War II, I imagine. Basically, every bit of industry was making something for the war. You know, most people don't realize this. During World War II, there was no cars made for personal use. The saying was, stop making what you're making, start making stuff for the war. During World War II, America's policy was basically all hands on deck. Everyone was expected to help with the war effort. And a cart like this was an important piece of equipment. It could haul ammo, food, medical supplies. And in a pinch, you could throw a wounded soldier on it and bring him back from the battlefield. Fully restored, these things can fetch a pretty penny. So how much you want for this thing?
I actually had it in a paper for sale with zero research. I put it in for $500.
So obviously it didn't sell for $500.
Not yet.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the one great thing you do have is it's all here. I mean, it looks neat, it looks interesting. There's a lot of collectors for stuff from World War II. My problem is, I don't even know if it'd be worth fixing up. Do you mind if I call someone? I got one buddy who knows about this stuff, and if it's not worth restoring, he might buy it off you for parts.
All right.
All right?
Pretty nervous. If it turns out to be a piece of crap, I guess I have a new flower pot.
It's a rare find, because most of them went to Europe during World War II. They were used to carry everything from food to a .50 caliber machine gun. Even mortars were put in these things. This is probably made in the early 40s, and they were pretty useful. As a matter of fact, in the 1962 movie, The Longest Day, when the Duke got wounded, they put him in here and carried him into battle. It is just really cool, and they're friggin' hard to find.
Good news for me, I guess, huh?
Yeah. When I walked in, I knew it was a hand cart from World War II. Everything was carried in them. I felt sorry for the guys that had to pull them, but these things went all over Europe, and they pulled a lot of things and put a lot of miles on them. Really, it's not in bad shape. You got all the original castings and everything, original wheels and bearings, which is hard to find.
So how much is this thing worth the way it sits?
Well, these were selling for $1,500 to $2,000 in this condition.
Really? Because I thought it was a complete piece of myself.
In a restored condition, you could almost double that because they want it. If it looks like the real thing, they're happy with it.
All right, so tell me, how much would it cost to restore it?
Probably talking about $1,200 to $1,400.
Okay. Thanks, man.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
For a serious collector, this is a must-have. If this guy is not totally crazy with his asking price, I'm gonna try and get it.
Honestly, I didn't think it was worth that much either.
I'm still sort of like baffled. I'll tell you what, I'll give you $400 for it. I know he said it was worth a lot more, but I give you $400. I pay him $1,200 to $1,400 to restore it. Before you know it, I'm in this thing close to $2,000. It takes up space in my shop.
That's not too far off of what I was asking in the paper, so I'll take $400 if you'll take a picture of it when you finish it.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture when I finish
That'd be cool. All right.
All right, $400, man.
Thanks.
I love it when there's no haggle, but I'm still a little worried about this one. If there's any problems with this piece and the restoration goes over budget, there goes my profit. Hopefully, it all pans out.
So what do you guys think? Well?
This thing looks pretty good.
It does look cool.
Looks straight out of G.I. Joe, the movie.
Well, hey, we'll grab our rifles, we'll grab our guns, and we'll join.
It doesn't look anything what it looked like.
No. Well, it took a lot of work. Actually, this little small thing was so intense to get it done. It was pretty tough.
What'd you have to do?
Well, I ripped the floor out and I actually made new ribs for it. I put all the original holes where they're supposed to be. So that way, if you want to mount a 50 caliber in here, you can.
Okay.
And I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I was absolutely shocked that it looks like this thing right here, because when I gave it to you, it looked like hell.
You gotta realize this thing went through World War II. You know, it was just a tough life this thing had.
You were telling me before, these sell for like $2,500?
I'll be honest with you, I would start at $2,800 and feel where you're comfortable from there. I wouldn't let it go for a dime less. Because the collectors that go for these, you know, it's gotta be original, and with the numbers on there, it pops.
So what do the numbers mean?
It's the 6th Vehicle, Headquarters, 3rd Division, so you should be able to get a good price for it.
Big question, how much are you?
Well, like I said, I told you $1,400, and that's it.
Okay, let me go pay you.
Let me see what it gets like with a little weight in here.
So you can pull 185 pounds?
Yeah, but you're more like 240.
Chum looked like a real soldier pulling Rick around. I'm surprised Rick even got in the cart.
Slow down, chump, slow down.
What do we have here?
I have a photo of and letter by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
Now that's cool. Longfellow, he was the biggest there was. Unfortunately, today, I would say close to 99% of Americans can't even name a poet.
Probably not. I got this in the mid-'70s. I went to an auction. There was this table just full of what looked to me to be junk. In that group of stuff was this letter and photograph already framed. I bid $20 on it. My kids aren't interested in it, so you may as well see what I can get for it here at the pawn shop.
Is it a poem?
No, it's basically a letter. I think this dear madam, whoever she was, wrote to him for a photograph and some autographs to use in a fair. And he's sending that to make some money for the fair.
Okay, that is definitely cool. We live in such a different society now. In the 19th century, poetry was so important. It really was. I mean, the guy who wrote poems was as big as a huge author or a really big actor.
Exactly.
And he really was a superstar back then. This is the guy who, when he passed away, they put it was a statue or a bust or something like that in Westminster Abbey in England,
In the Poets' Corner, yeah.
And I think he was the only American ever put in there, up to that point. There might be some now, but I think up to that point, he was the only one there.
Yeah.
And if you know how snooty the English were, especially back then, they still hadn't forgiven us for beating them in 2 wars. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was the most popular poet in the United States in the 19th century. Almost every kid in school in this country has learned about the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. That poem created the legend of Paul Revere. Longfellow really was that influential. I'm assuming this is all real. I mean, the ink looks like from the period. How much were you looking to get?
I was hoping to get like $300 for it.
A big concern I have here is this is one of the most famous men in the United States, okay? It wouldn't surprise me if this guy got hundreds of letters every day. I don't know if he could respond to every one of them. Sometimes they would have a secretary write the letter, or he might have done the whole thing himself. This might have been, went to his secretary, you take care of those. Oh, give me a couple, I'll take care of those myself.
Cool.
I am a writer.
I guess we'll never know, will we?
Okay, no, there is a way. If you can hang out for a little bit here, I would like to get my friend down here to take a look at it. I have a friend that's a handwriting expert. He's one of the most respected people in this field. Hang out a few minutes. I'm gonna go give him a call, and we'll get this figured out.
Cool, thanks. I'm sort of hyped about him bringing in an expert. It may surprise me. It may make me go back in my car and cry. I don't know. We'll see.
Steve.
What's up, Rick? Good to see you.
Everything in this world is great.
I like hearing that. How you doing?
Hey there, how are you?
This is it. This is what I called you about. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
You know, in terms of what this is, it's got great potential. In all honesty, this guy's really sought after. Yeah. This is really neat, you know, if it checks out.
I love it.
So don't get your hopes up yet. Back when Longfellow was alive, poets were very popular. And that's why he kind of had that rock star status. He'd get paid a lot of money. Just for one poem, he could get paid at that time up to $3,000. What I want to do is take a look at the ink on here, and there's going to be several indicators, especially how the ink kind of adheres to the paper. So I'm going to follow the signature along here, and it kind of looks like it starts off pretty strong, okay? But the more I'm moving along here, you see how it gets very faint towards the end. So he's using a quill to write with it.
As the ink's running out.
And the ink's running out of the quill.
What was that? Wow.
No doubt about the ink on here. So that's one good sign, okay? The next thing I want to do is I want to pull up the examples that I have on file here. And on this example, yours very truly. We see yours very truly. I mean, we're looking at live ink.
Okay, so it's all legit.
Absolutely, there's no question about it.
So, what do you think it's worth?
The value on this piece, especially with a beautiful signature on there, the photograph, the framing, everything included, right around $1,500.
Cool.
Cool? Good luck. Good to see you.
Man.
Yep.
Hey, cool. Thanks a bunch.
You bet, man. Take care. Well, you know, there's a lot of different collectors that would kind of tap into this piece, and I think an autograph collector, first and foremost, would want it. Someone asking for his autograph in 1881. I think that's about as cool as it gets.
What'd you want for this? $300?
That's in the past.
Okay.
I have a little more information now. I don't think $300 is going to do it for me. I would sure like to see $900 for it.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you $700. Okay, you walked in here wanting $300. I had your stuff authenticated for you.
Yeah.
And I'm offering you more than double what you were asking. Okay, I think it's more than fair of me for $700.
Yeah, let's do 700.
Sweet.
Thank you, sir.
I will meet you right over there, and I will get you some cash.
Oh, I like that. 700 isn't 900, but, you know, it's okay. It's a whole lot more than 300. I may go back home and dig through the closets again, see what I can find.
Hey, how can I help you?
I have something here that I think you're going to be very interested in. This is Nikola Tesla's very first prototype motor, built in 1887.
That's really, really cool.
What is Tesla?
Tesla made more contributions to our way of life today than any other engineer or scientist in recorded history. I decided to come here today to the pawn shop to see if they would be interested in buying my Tesla prototype motor. This motor should be worth $1 million. In today's economy, I am trying to sell this motor for $250,000.
How did you find this?
This motor was made by Tesla's assistant, and he sent it to William A. Anthony, who is the professor of electrical engineering at Cornell. Tesla wanted Anthony's endorsement. This motor stayed in the vaults at Cornell until a couple of people recognized this as something interesting, and I bought it from them.
Tesla was probably the smartest man of the 19th century. He basically invented the electricity we use in homes. He invented alternating current.
That's right.
If this is actually Tesla's first motor, it's like finding the lost ark for technology buffs. It would also mean it's worth an incredible amount of cash.
Depending on which of these switches you closed first or second, the rotor would rotate this way or rotate this way, which is the basis of all alternating current motors.
What's that mean?
Okay. Before this, they had direct current, like battery power. DC current was only good for a mile or two. as opposed to alternating current. The electricity could go 100 miles in a wire. It was just much more efficient. Do you understand?
Sure.
Nikola Tesla was obsessed with electricity, and his greatest invention was the alternating current motor and generator. He's without a doubt one of the greatest inventors of all time. How much did you want for it?
$250,000.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a out-of-this-world number if it's Tesla's original motor. But I have to have someone I know tell me what it is before I start talking numbers. So let me make some phone calls. All right?
You got it.
I'll be right back.
All right. Thank you. I am totally convinced that this is the original. If they want to bring in an expert to verify it or whatever, I'm happy with that. That's fine.
Oh, I spotted Mark.
Hey, Chum.
The guys normally call me down here when they have an unusual historical piece, because after 35 years of running museums, there isn't much I haven't seen at one point or another.
This man believes he has Nikola Tesla's original induction motor.
Interesting. Tesla is one of those characters out of the 19th century that everybody should be aware of. You know, the amount of change that he brought to our lives that we're still dealing with today. It was Tesla's design that created the first major power plants. In fact, they used Tesla's designs to create the power plant at the bottom of Niagara Falls. What makes you think that this is Tesla's prototype?
Because it came from William A. Anthony, who's the professor of electrical engineering at
Cornell. Right.
Because it follows exactly the patent description of May 4 of 1888.
He did a design for an engine. He actually did two, sent both of them to Professor Anthony. And Professor Anthony tested them. He was so impressed that he went to the American Institute for Electrical Engineers and talked them into inviting Tesla to come in and speak. And this is an image from his talk. When Tesla spoke, this is the motor that he demonstrated. Nikola Tesla is one of the most important people in the history of electrical use in the history of the modern world. In the account, Professor Anthony is brought up on stage and was asked to speak about what Tesla was saying. And that's where I think I have some bad news for you. Professor Anthony said, these appear to be the same motors that I tested, so they weren't left behind at Cornell. But what I think you have here is probably the 19th century teaching version.
I know you've done your research, but I respectfully disagree. The design of this, which matches the patent, far exceeds the engineering design in this illustration. I think this precedes that motor.
We have a different opinion. That's going to happen. Unless you found a picture of Tesla holding this, it's going to be very, very hard to prove.
Thanks for coming in, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's nothing I can do with it. I mean, I gotta respect Mark's opinion, and if he doesn't believe it's Tesla's, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm definitely disappointed that I'm not gonna have the lost ark of technology in my shop. I'm just glad I didn't drop $250,000 on some teacher's visual aid. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I think the guys made a huge mistake today. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I know they're gonna regret it.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, good. I have something you might be interested in here.
What do you got?
I have a really old coin.
That is cool, and that is not a coin. This is a Benjamin Franklin terracotta plaque. These were really popular in France back in the late 1700s.
It's a coin to me. I got this to my grandfather's estate. It just was in a really nice fancy box, and I figured, oh, it's gotta be worth something. I'm coming down here looking for $10,000. $10,000 is gonna buy me a lot of textbooks. I'm a broke college kid. Might even pay for some beer.
Ben Franklin in 1777 goes to France because we need some money. When this guy shows up in France, he's hanging out with French royalty. Everyone wanted to meet this guy. Everyone wanted to be around him. People loved him so much, a company started making these plaques. And they were hanging them on their wall because everyone loved him because he was such a rock star.
Ben Franklin is arguably the most loved founding father, but that doesn't mean everything associated with him is collectible. And even though this terracotta medallion is really, really cool, I have no idea what this thing is worth. It's in really, really good shape. I'm assuming it was put in this box later, you know, years down the road, and they glued it to the back, so I don't know if that's gonna be a big deal. How much are you looking to get out of it?
I think it's worth $10,000.
You know what, quite frankly, I have no idea. I've seen one of these before, but it's been over 20 years ago, and to tell you the truth, I can't remember what it was worth back then. But I know that they're worth money. What exactly that money is, I don't know if it's $500 or $10,000. But I do have a buddy who lives and breathes this kind of weird stuff, and he'll know. So if you don't mind hanging out for a little bit, I can get him down here?
I have some time.
Okay, cool, man. I'll be right back.
Let's do it. I'm excited to see what the expert has to say about my piece and shed some light on what the value might be.
Ben Franklin terracotta thingy I remember from like 20 years ago, but I'm not exactly sure what I remember.
This is fantastic. It is a Ben Franklin terracotta medal made by an artist named Jean-Baptiste Nini. It's right from the most important part of the American Revolution in some sense. 1778, he signed the agreement with France, which turned the tide of the war. So it's an incredible historical object. Ben Franklin was quite a celebrity, and he was a natural subject for an object like this, which was intended to be sold to the general public.
What do you think? Does it really hurt the value of the glue on the back of it?
Well, it doesn't actually hurt the value. It's a uniface medallion. What's important is the front of the piece.
Okay. So what do these things go for?
These are not very common, and this one's actually in very good shape. You know, they're worth to a collector $1,500 to $2,000, in that range.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought the thing was worth 10 grand.
You know, they were never worth quite that much, but there was a time that this might have been worth 5,000.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. This piece is actually quite rare. If you wanted to go out and buy 20 of them in 6 months, it would be absolutely impossible.
So obviously you're not going to get 10 grand for it.
Make me an offer.
I'll give you 1,200 bucks for it.
No. I'll take 2,000 for it.
No. I'm assuming I'm going to get that for it.
18.
No. 1,200 bucks.
18.
All right, well, have a nice day. I mean,
Sure you don't want it?
I don't want it for that. I mean, you know, you have to look at my... I got a business here.
I'll come down. I'll sell it for $1,400 to you right now. Otherwise, I'm leaving with it.
You know what? You got a deal. All right. Thanks, man. I'll meet you right over there. I'll have one of my guys grab it. I'll meet you right over there, and we'll do some paperwork.
All right, let's do it. $1,400 I feel is fair. It's going to go towards my student loans. I need some new tires for my truck, too.
Hey, so what do we got here?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. This is some type of military equipment.
Cool. I've actually had one of these things before. These were commissioned from Edison in World War II to teach the troops how to do Morse code. When you went to the Signal Corps, you sat in front of one of these things for a couple months. Because if you're doing Morse code for the coordinates where to bomb someplace, you don't want to screw up at all.
Recently, my 92-year-old father passed away, and this was an item that was in a storage room that he had on the farm. It looked like an interesting piece. It might have some museum quality to it, or it could be used by somebody that has just an interest in electronics.
It's really, really cool. World War II was the biggest ramp up of industrial production ever. Radio technology was pretty good if you're at home, but if you're in more like battlefield conditions, radio still sort of sucked. You have bombs going off, you have a lot of static, it's gonna be really hard to get your message out clearly. But beep, 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 you know, just
even if that has a little static,
You can hear through it.
you can completely understand it.
So it's got a Morse code key here and a set of earphones.
So literally this right here,
right,
would screw in right there to your key code.
Oh, okay.
So you would listen to it with this, and you would tap it out, and it would also write onto the cylinder too, so you could hear it later. It literally has a set of beeps in it.
As it sits today, just like
Right
this.
there, you can see
Yeah.
the grooves in it.
Okay.
So, how much do you want for it?
Well, I was looking about 600.
Okay. Right after World War II, they sold off trillions of dollars of military surplus.
Okay.
And this might have gone for 50 cents.
Oh.
But it's a pretty obscure device. I'd give you 200 bucks for it.
Would you take 400 for it?
I'll go 250.
Would you give me 300?
I probably shouldn't, but I will.
All right.
I'll meet you right up front, and we'll do some paperwork.
Okay, good enough.
All right. If Chum was a telegraph operator during World War II, we'd probably be speaking German now.
Hey,
what can I help you with, man?
This is a book that was printed by Benjamin Franklin.
Okay. Printed and sold by B. Franklin, 1945. I mean, 1745, excuse me. 1945 would be a little bit off.
I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my book that was printed and sold by Benjamin Franklin in 1745. I'd like to sell the book because I have no use for it and I could really use the money. $1,500 is probably the lowest I'll take.
How did you get this thing?
This was in my grandma's attic and came across this.
Benjamin Franklin was one of the forefathers. He was an inventor, he was a statesman.
You know, he was considered one of the greatest inventors of his time. He never patented anything because all of his inventions, he said, were for the people. He almost controlled all the printing in this country. I mean, the majority of the printing was done by him, all the way from New England, all the way down to the Caribbean.
Benjamin Franklin was an author, scientist, printer, and diplomat. The man did it all, and anything tied to him is potentially worth a fortune.
It's a religious book. The Confession of Faith, catechisms. You didn't put the tape on here, did you?
No, that's antique right there.
Okay, because whoever put the tape on there did more harm than they did good.
It kills me that someone tried to tape this thing back together. But since it appears to be published by Ben Franklin himself, I think it still has value.
So what do you want to do with it?
I was hoping to sell it. I did a little research on it, and it goes for auction like anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000.
3,000 to 5,000 in what shape?
It's older than the Declaration of Independence.
So is he, but that doesn't make him worth a lot of money. The problem is, I don't know what it's worth being in such bad shape. So let me call somebody up, get him down here. He'll take a look at it, and we'll talk to him and see what we can do. All right?
Okay.
All right, I'll be
Sounds
right back.
good. I think the expert's gonna come in and realize the book is authentic and worth a little bit of money.
Hey, Rick, how are you? Rick usually calls me in whenever he has any historic American items. Oh boy, is this fragile. The Confession of Faith, printed and sold by B. Franklin, 1745. He printed 16 books himself where he put money out of his own pocket. And although he did only a few himself, he did a number of books for other people. This is one of the religious books he would have been contracted to print during the day. It's rare to find any book that's printed by Benjamin Franklin. He tried to stay away from printing books because they were so costly and so hard to accomplish. You're missing the first 6 pages, and they taped in page 7 and 8. Typically, collectors want a complete edition of a book.
So what do you think it's worth?
If it were in really nice condition, I would think that it would be something in the $4,000 to $6,000 range. But in this kind of condition, being so rough, maybe $1,500 to $2,000.
Thanks, Danny. You're
Take
the
care.
best.
Very nice meeting you.
So what do you want to do with it?
Yeah, I'd definitely like to sell it.
Okay, so how much you want for it?
I was thinking maybe $1,200.
I'll give you 500 bucks.
500? This is a piece of history,
This is
man.
a nightmare is what this is.
It's a monstrosity. I really don't want it, Rick.
This could have some kind of secret Freemason code in it.
Yeah, that I doubt. But the problem is, I have to put this out for sale, okay? I start showing it to a lot of customers. The condition it's in, I'm really afraid something bad's gonna happen to it.
Yeah, it's gonna fall apart like the $2 watch.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 6 1/4, and that's all I'm gonna go.
650 maybe, meet in the middle?
You know what? I'll do it, 650.
650.
All right.
Got a deal.
I'll write you up.
I was hoping for a little more, but the book was just collecting dust in the attic, and 650, I'm happy.
What is this? I know who he is.
Yes, Nikola Tesla. A very rare poem written by Tesla.
I did not know he was a poet. He was like one of the greatest engineers ever.
This is a poem that Tesla wrote right after he had his first big argument with Thomas Edison.
That's really, really cool.
Most people don't know who Tesla is, but Tesla gave us everything we have today. We wouldn't have TV, we wouldn't have radio, we wouldn't have radar. Tesla wasn't really a poet, and that's why it was rare. I've never, ever seen anything like it.
Turns out this was probably one of the smartest guys ever. I mean, this guy is right up there with Einstein. He got together with Westinghouse, created alternating current, what we use in homes now. And there was a giant battle between Westinghouse and Edison over what should be used in homes. AC, which was alternating current, versus DC, which is direct current. That's why we have the electric chair, believe it or not, is because Edison wanted to show how dangerous Westinghouse's alternating current was. So he actually went on stage at fairs and electrocuted elephants and killed them. I mean, that's just sick.
Yeah, quite amazing. Tesla, to combat that, put 5.5 million volts through his body and arced off of his fingertips 5.5-foot bolts.
I mean, just an incredible guy. You know, a lot of people attribute the invention of electricity to Edison. It was really
Tesla.
It was really Tesla.
He turned down the Nobel Prize because he was supposed to share it with Edison. That's how bad the feud was.
Edison and Tesla, straight up, didn't like each other. Edison actually tried to prevent Tesla from using his light bulbs. So in response, Tesla invented the fluorescent light bulb. Okay, the plaque says, this verse illustrates the humorous side of Tesla.
Now, this is believed to have been written because when he first came to this country, he went to work for Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison said, if you can fix my generators, I'll pay you $50,000. Tesla fixed Edison's generators, and when he went to get the money, Edison said, no, I'm just joking.
He said, I'm just joking. That's the way we do it in America.
Exactly. That's how the feud began between the two.
Okay, so let's see what it says. Poetry does not pay better. Try to make hay, mind the sophomore, and bother me no more. All right, so it's a little esoteric. Basically what he's saying is you're gonna have to work to make your money and get the amateurs out of the way.
Well, basically, he was going to work and do what he needed to do to prove Edison totally wrong.
The fact that two of the greatest inventors in history had a feud is a crazy story. And if Tesla actually wrote a poem about it, I want to buy it. Now I just need to find out, is it real? How much do you want?
Well, it's been valued at $5,000.
Okay, we're not out of the ballpark here. I'm gonna call someone. I'm gonna get him down here to take a look at this. If it's legit, well, I'm definitely gonna try and do business with you because I consider this one of the coolest guys in history. I will be right back.
Thank you.
This guy has a poem written by Tesla, supposedly.
Wow, okay.
And I am in awe.
Absolutely. I mean, Tesla was the man. I mean, from an early age, he could solve problems in a day or two that people would take, you know, probably years to do. And he was just on a genius level. I think he was off the charts.
I mean, to me, I've always been pretty fascinated with the guy. He invented so much stuff.
I mean, you do know that's where they coined the term mad scientist, right?
It doesn't surprise me. I just want to make sure it was written by him because even 100 years ago, people were faking stuff by him.
All right, first thing I want to do is take a better look. I see some variances of the ink. It's getting lighter, it's getting darker. And I believe it's a live ink signature, so at least we know that there's ink here on paper.
Okay, so it's not printed, someone actually wrote it out with an ink pen.
Absolutely.
Next thing I want to do, Rick, is I want to look at this thing side by side, compare to the examples that I have.
Okay.
So when I start to look at this signature and I come in here, it's very basic, it's very simple. He has a distinct angle to the right, and it's not really too complicated. And when I start to see the two together, I'm starting to look at what appears to me are very similar signatures.
So do you think it's all legit?
Well, based on what I'm seeing here, the ink, the analysis I've done, the signature comparison, I think we've got a legitimate signature here.
Okay, sweet. What do you think it's worth?
Based on rarity, good ballpark retail figure is about $2,500.
Don't you think that's a little low? I mean, I've had it appraised at over $5,000.
Right, I understand that. I understand the appraisal value, but also at the same time, I think it's kind of hard to find a buyer for this. To be quite frank, a lot of people don't really know much about the guy anymore.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you. Good
thank
luck.
you.
Yep, thank you very much.
So what do you want for it?
Well, you know, how about 2? And I know you want this. I can tell you do.
But I'm a business owner. I can't fall in love with things. Take $1,500 for it?
16's the lowest I can go.
Got a deal.
Got a deal.
Okay. I'll meet you right over there. Let's write this thing up.
Got it.
It's really cool to own a handwritten poem by one of my heroes. Maybe it'll get lost somehow and I won't be able to sell it.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, and yourself?
What we got here?
A 1901 Thomas Edison phonograph.
They make hip-hop reels for this thing, or?
Nope. I'm coming into the pawn shop to sell my 1901 Thomas Edison phonograph. What I really like about this phonograph is the fact that it was built by Thomas Edison and runs beeswax cylinders, and I think that's pretty cool.
So does it work?
Yeah, it works. It works awesome.
All right, where'd you come across that?
I was traveling to a rodeo in Tucson, Arizona, and came across a guy that was pretty hard up for some cash.
All right. So how's this thing work?
Runs off of beeswax records. Slides on here like this.
Okay.
And then you lock it into place like this. And then it has a reproducer, which is like a normal record player that has a needle right there. So you lock it into place like this. And then you take the handle and you put it on the side here. Lock it into place. Put the horn on right here. And you just drop the needle.
It's gotta be the worst sounding ever.
Wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad, buddy. This could be the worst thing I ever heard. I can't believe anybody actually liked this stuff. But it's got Thomas Edison's name on it, so I assume it's worth a lot of money. So what are you looking to do with it, man? You looking to sell it or pawn it, or?
I'm looking to sell it.
How much are you trying to get?
I'd like to get about $1,400.
I'll be honest with you, man. I just don't know enough about them. I'll tell you what, I'd like to have you speak with my grandfather. He probably had one of these in his living room. He might know what it's worth.
That would be great.
All right.
Okay, great, thank you. Appreciate it.
So what's so cool about it, Grandpa? Did you have one of these when you were a kid or something?
Yeah, right. Back in the days, these were the cat's meow to have in your house because there was no televisions, there was no radio, there was no nothing. This was the first piece of entertainment built for the home industry. Thomas Edison was an inventor. He invented the light bulb and the movie camera. He was also a businessman. He made things that rich people wanted to buy, and that's the way you make money. Corey, have you heard it play?
Yeah, some stupid song about Irish and whiskey and...
Well, you can relate to that. What do you want to do, guy? You want to sell it, pawn it?
I'm looking to sell it.
And how much you looking to get out of it?
I'd like to get $1,400 for it.
Well, I bet you would. I'm looking more at about $500.
I have over 13 beeswax records and extra accessories and parts.
Let me try to explain something to you. Whoever buys this He's going to set it on a shelf in their house and tell everybody what a good thing it is. As far as records and stuff, they're never going to play it.
$750.
$550.
There's 2 other big horns that go with it.
Tell you what, with the extra stuff, I'd go to $700.
You want to go seven and a quarter?
$675. That's my last offer.
$700. We got a deal.
All right. We got a deal, sir. Corey, take care of the paperwork. I'm glad that I bought the phonograph, but I hope Corey was taking notes, for that's the way that you negotiate.